I will show you how to completely transform your financial life in just 6 months. Did you know that studies in neuroscience and psychology, such as those by Carol Dweck and research published in the Harvard Business Review, demonstrate that our brains are highly adaptable and that successful habits can literally reprogram the way we think? Stay with me until the end of this video, because I will reveal habits that can radically change your relationship with money and transform your life in a surprising way. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to attract money effortlessly, while others constantly struggle to make ends meet? It seems unfair, doesn't it? But what if I told you that the main difference between these people is not their salary, luck, or inheritance, but rather the way they think? Let me explain how this works right now. Habit 1. The wealth mindset. The truth is that wealth begins in the mind. Studies show that our mindset directly influences our financial decisions and even our ability to recognize opportunities. A study published in the Harvard Business Review revealed that individuals who adopt a growth mindset, that is, those who believe they can learn, develop, and change their reality, are far more likely to achieve financial success than those who think money simply comes or does not come. Now, stop and reflect. How do you perceive money? Do you believe it is always slipping through your fingers? Or do you see money as a resource that can be acquired and multiplied with intelligence? Many people grow up hearing phrases like, money doesn't buy happiness, all rich people are greedy, or, work hard, and one day you'll be rewarded. I heard these same phrases when I was young. But do you know what I discovered? That these beliefs were exactly what kept me stuck in the life I wanted to change. My poor dad, the one with prestigious degrees and a secure government job, believed that the key to success was studying hard and securing a stable career. My rich dad, the man who became my mentor, saw money in a completely different way. He used to say, money is a tool. If you know how to use it, it will work for you. If you don't, you will work for it for the rest of your life. And that is the key difference between those who build wealth and those who remain trapped in the rat race. Someone with a wealth mindset sees money as abundant, as a tool that can be understood and mastered. Someone with a scarcity mindset believes that money is difficult to obtain, that it only comes with great sacrifice, and that once they have it, they must hold on to it tightly out of fear of losing it all. This perspective influences the financial decisions they make every day. Think carefully. What is your first reaction when you receive money? Do you feel temporary relief, pay your bills, and hope that something is left at the end of the month? Or do you strategically think about how to make that money grow? This small detail could determine whether, in the next 6 months, you remain in the same situation or begin building your financial freedom. I remember a conversation I had years ago with a friend. He had just received a bonus from work, approximately £6,000. He was excited because that money meant he could finally buy the car he had wanted for years. I asked him, and after that, what will you do? He replied, well, I'll keep working, paying my bills, and waiting for the next bonus. I then said, but what if you invested that money? What if, instead of buying something that would only cost you more in the long run, you used that amount to acquire an asset that would put more money in your pocket over time? He laughed and said he didn't want to wait years to own his dream car. 6 months later, the car had already lost value, he still had the same job with the same salary, and no extra money left over. Meanwhile, I took a similar amount, invested it in a small business, and in less than a year, that money was generating a steady return for me. This isn't magic. This is a mindset. People with a wealthy mindset make money work for them, while those with a poor mindset spend everything and find themselves in the same financial cycle month after month. That's why many people who win the lottery lose everything within a few years. They haven't changed their mindset, they've simply received a large sum of money. How can you change your mindset today? The first step is to observe how you think about money. Be honest with yourself. Are you always worried about bills, afraid to invest, and convinced that wealth is only for others? If so, it's time to reprogram those thoughts. Expose yourself to knowledge that expands your financial understanding, read books, watch educational videos, and talk to people who are already where you want to be. Additionally, change the way you speak about money. Instead of saying, I can't afford this, ask yourself, how can I afford this? This simple shift forces your brain to look for solutions rather than accepting scarcity. Wealthy people don't say, I can't, They ask, how can I? If you start practicing this habit over the next 6 months, something remarkable will happen. You'll begin to see opportunities where you once saw obstacles. You'll start to view money differently. Small daily changes in your mindset can be the first step towards completely transforming your financial life. The big question is, are you ready to change? Habit 2. Continuous financial education. One thing I've learned on my journey towards financial freedom is that money will never be a problem for those who understand how it works. The problem is that most people have no real understanding of how money truly operates. Have you ever noticed how we spend years at school learning complex mathematical formulas that we rarely use in real life, yet we are never taught how to manage our own money? This is not accidental. The education system is designed to produce employees, not investors. How many times have you felt lost when it comes to money? How often have you had to make a financial decision without fully understanding all the available options? This happens because we've been conditioned to believe that money is complicated, something only economists, stockbrokers, and the ultra-wealthy can grasp. But this is a falsehood that keeps many people trapped in a cycle of financial struggle. The real secret of the wealthy isn't just how much they earn, but how much they know about money. Have you ever noticed that many athletes, actors, and musicians who earn millions end up losing everything? This happens because they never learned how to manage their finances. A classic example is Mike Tyson. Over the course of his career, he earned an amount that in local currency equates to more than 300 million, but he lost it all due to a lack of financial knowledge. Meanwhile, people like Warren Buffett started learning about money at a young age and continue studying it to this day. Buffett reportedly reads around 500 pages a day. Do you think that's a coincidence? The problem is that many people believe getting rich is about finding one big opportunity, as if it were a winning lottery ticket. But in reality, wealth comes from a series of smart financial decisions made consistently over time. And such decisions can only be made correctly if you have the right knowledge. Financial education is not something you do once in your life and then forget about. It is a continuous process. I remember exactly when I realized this. I was in a meeting with experienced investors and, to be honest, I could barely understand half of what they were saying. They were talking about leverage, cash flow, valuation, and I felt like a complete amateur. That day, I made a decision. I would never again be in a room where I did not understand money as well as anyone else. I spent months devouring books on investments, studying the market, and speaking with people who were years ahead of me. And do you know what happened? Within less than a year, I was making deals that had once seemed impossible to me. When was the last time you learned something new about money? Do you take the time to understand investments, taxes, interest rates, and economic cycles? Or do you simply accept what you are told without questioning it? The good news is that today, thanks to the internet, you have access to an endless amount of free or affordable knowledge. There is no longer any excuse to remain ignorant about money. You can watch videos, read books, and follow experts. What you cannot do is continue believing that a stable job and a guaranteed pension are enough to make you financially secure. If, over the next 6 months, you decide to dedicate just 30 minutes a day to financial education, I guarantee that your perspective on money will completely change. You will start to recognize patterns, understand opportunities more clearly, and make smarter decisions. And most importantly, you will stop relying on others to decide what to do with your money. Because if there is one thing I have learned, it is this: when you do not know what you are doing, there will always be someone who does, and that person may not be acting in your best interest. Knowledge is the key to escaping the rat race and entering the game of the wealthy. The question is, are you willing to learn? Habit 3. Investments and calculated risk. Many people spend their entire lives working hard, saving every penny, yet never managing to improve their financial situation. This happens because they have learned to trade time for money but have never learned how to make money work for them. And this is where most people go wrong. They think that simply earning more money is enough to become wealthy. Let me ask you a question. How many people do you know who earn a good salary but are still in debt? The problem is not how much they earn, but what they do with that money. The difference between the wealthy and the average person is that the wealthy understand that money should not just be saved, it should be invested. And before you say, investing is risky, let me tell you something, not investing is far more dangerous. If you are afraid of losing money, you need to realize that inflation is already doing that for you. Every year, your money loses value. If it is sitting in your bank account or under your mattress, you are literally becoming poorer by the day. But then another problem arises. Many people who understand the importance of investing end up making an even bigger mistake. They enter the financial market without preparation, without studying, and without a strategy. They gamble. They confuse investing with gambling. They buy stocks because someone told them it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. They fall for pyramid schemes believing they are making a great deal, and in the end, they lose everything. Then they say, investing is too risky. No, investing without knowledge is risky. Strategic investing is exactly what will get you out of the rat race. I clearly remember the first time I invested in real estate. It was a small apartment in Maui, and I had carefully done all the calculations. The rent I would charge would cover the financing costs and still provide me with a positive cash flow. But on the day I was about to sign the contract, a friend asked me, "Are you sure? What if the real estate market crashes? What if no one rents it?" I thought for a moment and replied, "What if it works out?" That was the moment I realized the difference between those who become wealthy and those who stay in the same place. People with little money always focus on the risk. They imagine everything that could go wrong and, out of fear, never take action. Wealthy people, on the other hand, analyze the risk but focus on the opportunities. The question is not about avoiding risks, it is about learning how to assess them. If you understand a market, study your investments, and make well-informed decisions, risk is not a threat but simply part of the game. How do you handle the money left at the end of the month? Do you spend it on something unnecessary? Do you leave it sitting in your account? Or do you put it to work for you? If you have not started investing yet, I challenge you, over the next 6 months, learn everything you can about an investment type that makes sense for you. It could be stocks, real estate, property funds, or even starting your own business. The key is to step out of your comfort zone and start making your money grow. People like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and many other billionaires you admire did not become wealthy by working 16-hour days at a conventional job. They became rich because they understood the power of investing and multiplying their resources. And I tell you with absolute certainty, investing is not about luck. It is about knowledge, patience, and strategic vision. If you want to escape the rat race, you need to learn how to approach investments correctly. The only question left now is, are you ready to take control of your money and change your financial future? Habit 4. Discipline and routine. Most people want to be rich, but almost no one is willing to follow a disciplined routine to make it happen. This is one of the biggest reasons why so many people fail financially. They dream of a better life, but their daily actions do not align with that goal. If you want to change your financial situation in the next 6 months, you need to understand that success does not happen overnight. It is the result of the small decisions you make every day. Think about it, how many times have you started something with enthusiasm, only to give up halfway through? Whether it is a savings plan, starting to invest, or even developing a new habit, the lack of consistency is what destroys most good intentions. And the reason for this is simple: without discipline, any goal remains just a fleeting wish. A well-known study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology shows that people overestimate their willpower, believing they can change their lives based on motivation alone. But motivation is temporary. Discipline, on the other hand, keeps you on track even when you do not feel like it. I learned this lesson the hard way. At the beginning of my journey, I was surrounded by people who talked a lot about becoming wealthy but never took any concrete action. They wanted to invest but did not study. They wanted to save but spent money uncontrollably. They wanted to start a business but never put their ideas into practice. One day, a mentor told me something that completely changed my way of thinking: if I look at your daily habits, I can predict your financial future. Those words hit me like a punch in the stomach. Because the truth is, if someone had looked at my routine back then, they would have seen that I was merely reacting to life, with no control over my daily habits. That was the moment I decided to structure my routine in a disciplined way so that it would lead me to where I wanted to be. I set aside time to study investments, established clear financial goals, and began meticulously tracking my income and expenses. What does your routine look like today? Do you have set times to learn about finances? Do you have a clear financial plan? Do you track your expenses daily? If your answer is no, then you are letting chance determine your financial future. One of the most striking differences between wealthy people and the average person is how they structure their days. Do you think Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, or any other major investor starts their day without a clear plan? Of course not. They have a disciplined routine that keeps them on track, no matter what challenges arise. The truth is that discipline is more important than talent. I have seen brilliant people fail because they lack the consistency needed to turn knowledge into results. On the other hand, I have seen ordinary people, with no special gifts, build great fortunes simply because they had the discipline to follow a plan every single day. If you want to see a true transformation in your financial life over the next 6 months, you need to create a system that forces you to be consistent. Set aside time every day to learn about investing, establish measurable financial goals, closely monitor your income and spending, and eliminate habits that are holding you back. You can start small, perhaps just 30 minutes a day dedicated to financial education. But if you do this with discipline, you will see that in just a few months, your knowledge and mindset about money will have evolved in an incredible way. Right now, you have two choices: continue living on autopilot or take control and build a structured routine that leads you to where you want to be. Which option will you choose? Habit 5: Action and persistence. How many times have you had a brilliant idea, a promising plan, but never put it into practice? How many times have you started something with enthusiasm, only to give up because the initial results were not what you expected? If you truly want to change your financial situation in the next 6 months, you need to understand one thing: knowledge without action is worthless. The world is full of intelligent people with great ideas, but many of them never achieve anything simply because they do not take the necessary steps. So many people spend years consuming information about money, investments, and business, but they never take the first step. They watch videos, read books, take courses, and then say, "I'm not ready yet." Have you ever said that to yourself? The truth is that no one is ever 100% ready. The difference between those who build wealth and those who stay in the same place is that the former take action even before they feel fully prepared. They understand that real learning happens through experience. I remember when I made my first real investment. I had read countless books and studied the market, but the fear of making a mistake held me back. Then a friend told me, "You can spend your whole life waiting for absolute certainty, but meanwhile, others will already be building their wealth." Those words left a lasting impression on me and changed everything. I realized that my hesitation was not due to a lack of knowledge but rather a fear of making mistakes. And do you know what is most surprising? Even the best investors make mistakes. The difference is that they learn from their failures and keep moving forward, while those who are insecure remain paralyzed and never truly progress. Perseverance is what separates successful people from those who give up at the first hurdle. Many people start investing, launching businesses or saving money, but as soon as they encounter an obstacle, they revert to their old habits. They say, "This is not for me, the market is too risky, I tried, but it didn't work." However, when we look at those who have truly achieved financial independence, we see a pattern: they failed, they got back up, and they kept going. Thomas Edison failed more than 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. Jeff Bezos faced multiple failures and years without profit before Amazon became a global powerhouse. Even Steve Jobs was fired from his own company before returning and revolutionizing the industry. These individuals did not succeed because they never made mistakes, they succeeded because they never gave up. How many times have you given up too quickly? Have you ever tried to save money, only to spend it all again after a few setbacks? Have you ever attempted to invest, but quit because you saw a small loss? Have you had a business idea but abandoned it because the first few months were tough? If so, I have to tell you something: you will never move forward unless you learn to persevere. Consistent action is the secret behind every major achievement. The problem is that many people expect instant results. They start something and expect a radical transformation within a few weeks. When that doesn't happen, they lose motivation and give up. But let me tell you this, the first 6 months of any change are the hardest. It's the time when you feel like you're making a huge effort with little to show for it. But this is exactly where most people stop, and that is why they never reach the top. If, for the next 6 months, you commit to taking action every day without giving up at the first sign of difficulty, something extraordinary will happen. You might start investing and feel uneasy about the fluctuations in the market. You might launch a new project and experience moments of doubt. But if you keep going, keep refining your strategy, and keep adjusting your approach, a time will come when you begin to see the results of your efforts. And that is the point most people never reach, because they gave up too soon. Would you rather spend the next 6 months complaining that your financial situation hasn't changed, or would you rather take action, experiment, fail, learn, and build a solid future? In the end, the only difference between those who achieve financial success and those who remain stuck is that the successful ones take action even when they don't feel completely ready. Are you ready to take that first step? Your financial situation will not change just through wishes or good intentions. It changes through action, through discipline, and through the conscious decision to do something different starting today. But this will only happen if you put this knowledge into practice. Think about this, what if, starting today, you committed to improving by just 1% every single day? Small daily improvements create a massive impact over time. And that is exactly what you will discover in the next video appearing on your screen now. There, we will take the next step in your financial growth, diving deeper into your knowledge so that you become even more prepared to achieve the freedom you seek. I'll see you there. Click now and continue this journey. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next video.